Piloting a non-stop solar flight around the world sounds like something out of an adventure novel. Bertrand Piccard is a modern-day explorer that has turned his sights on fighting climate change and is making that idea a reality. Working with the Solar Impulse Foundation, he has identified and is working on over 1,000 clean and profitable solutions. Bertrand, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm very excited to speak with you. When you think about exploration, what does it mean to be an explorer today?
It means that you are never satisfied with what you see and what you have. You always want to do it better, especially things that have never been done, because you have no benchmark. Nobody can tell you how to do. You have to invent entirely a new process to succeed.
Well, speaking of things that have never been done, you've also flown around the world in a solar-powered aeroplane. What did this accomplishment help you understand and help bring to the aviation industry?
All the aviation industry told me in the beginning that it was completely impossible. I could never do a plane so big and so light. I would never have enough energy from the sun to fly day and night in an airplane. And you know, all these people who were explaining me scientifically why I could not do something that I managed to do. So it really shows how exciting it is to try to achieve the impossible, because you need to learn to think in a completely different way from what you have learned.
You've created the Solar Impulse Foundation. What is the mission of this foundation, and what kinds of startups are you working with?
I thought that I needed to prove that fighting climate change was the biggest business opportunity. And for this, I put my foundation, Solar Impulse, on the challenge of identifying solutions, technical solutions, systems, process, products, device, materials, everywhere in the world that would be able to protect the environment, but in an economically profitable way. And some of these solutions come from startups or medium-sized companies or sometimes listed companies. But today, can you imagine that we identified 1,450 of them?
The megacity is a new form of urbanization, and it's a trend that you're paying particular attention to. You've published a guide to help cities reach their goal of becoming carbon neutral. How specifically does this guide help them reach this goal?
Cities represent 75% of the emissions of CO2. But more than that, in the next 20 years, in order to host all the newcomers on Earth and all the people who come from rural areas to cities, we will need to build every 4 months the equivalent of Manhattan. It's absolutely enormous. So of course, if we use old systems, old materials that will add pollution, add inefficient CO2 in the world, it's going to be an absolute disaster. So everything that is built has to be carbon neutral, has to be efficient, has to use the newest technologies. And this is why we have made this selection of solutions, especially for cities.
You've achieved what most people believe was impossible. So I have to ask, what gives you hope given where we are, the state of the world right now?
Either you consider that fighting climate change is a burden and you create a lot of resistance, and people will not accept to make a sacrifice in their daily life to protect the climate, or you show that it's a fantastic adventure. It's like an exploration of a new way to do. And then you can change course from something that is quite a scary future and turn it into a fantastic opportunity with a better quality of life. Because we started the interview speaking of exploration, but you know, today exploration is not anymore to discover new territories. People have been everywhere, even on the moon. Now the goal is to explore a better quality of life.